What's up?
How's it going? Good Sunday. Lazy Sunday.
Fucking
It's
good
rainy.
Sunday.
It's a perfect day to talk about a cult.
It is. It is a good day to talk about Colt. Um, how are you, Paige? How was your week?
Oh my gosh, it was.
It was a week.
Acid reflux. My sleep has been off. Last night was terrible too. It's just been, super fun. How about
Feel
you
you. I
though?
feel you. I was sick a lot last week. That was really fun. Really cool.
What kind of sick? Like, allergy sick
No,
or?
no, like stomach stuff.
Oh, that sucks. Did you throw up or?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst. I'd rather do anything else.
Right. Um, yeah. Other than that, that's my whole week basically. Didn't do shit. Did edited videos and was sick most of the time.
Sounds like not a fun week.
But we're back on it again.
Yeah, here we are. Like, gonna be the longest episode probably
I
ever.
know, dude.
I don't know though. Bonnie and Clyde probably topped the
Yeah.
cake, I feel like, on this one.
Did you
But
have a good sleep last night? You said you were tired yesterday.
yeah, nope. I didn't go to bed till like 5 in the morning. I think so I'm on Zoloft right now
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't been drinking water while I've been taking them, and I guess the side effect is acid reflux, so Mason put it together. I think that's what's going on, possibly. So
I see. I see.
we'll see. So hopefully that's the fix. If not, maybe
Yeah.
it's just I'm getting old and this is my life now,
Yeah. That's also a sad reality.
Could be, could be. But, you
Are you
know.
fucking shitting me? Spilt. I got tea. I spilt it fucking 5 seconds ago. And I cleaned it up, and then I spilt it again, the same exact fucking spot.
That's my life. What kind of tea did you have?
Chai tea.
Ooh, I do like some chai tea. Some spicy. I know it's not really that spicy, but
I used to not like it because it tasted like Christmas, but now it just tastes like chai tea. So we're gonna do it
It does
again.
taste
We're
like
gonna do it over here
Christmas,
though, so I don't
yes.
spill it on my mouse pad again.
Yeah, you need to calm down. Throwing shit.
Um, but yeah, I can't remember what we were talking about before that happened, but I'm sure it was great.
Yes,
um,
yeah.
anyway, so this week we're talking about Heaven's Gate and person for we'll pull that later, I guess. Let's see here. Heaven's Gate is a did they call themselves a cult? Do you know?
So they didn't really, I think they kind of acknowledged what everyone was saying, but they didn't even really call themselves Heaven's Gate to begin with. They called
Oh yeah,
themselves
yeah,
like
yeah.
the group or the class. So like I feel like they acknowledged what everyone was saying, but I don't think they was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is a cult."
Because I've
Yeah.
noticed a lot of cults usually call themselves like such and such church, and it's really a cult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I was like, I kept wanting to say Heaven's Gate Church, but then I was like, I don't know if that's actually what they called themselves, or if that's just my brain
No.
wanting to stick that label on there.
Yeah, I think that's your brain,
Could
but
be, could be. Okay,
I mean,
well,
same thing basically.
this story starts back in 1931 in Texas. And I'm sorry, but this time I
Texas.
don't have any parades to show you about Texas.
I
But
can't believe you. How do we get this party started?
but in 1931, Marshall Applewhite, who is the founder of Heaven's Gate, one of the founders, is
Mhm.
born. He starts his life out normal. Everything is good. He is a very religious child, but not like super overly religious or anything like that. Just more religious than your typical
Well, his dad was
kid.
a minister,
Yeah.
Presbyterian.
Um, he ended up growing up normal, had a pretty normal life.
Mm.
He was into like religious studies and after school stuff in high school, but not more than other teenagers in the area at the time.
Yeah.
Um, as a senior, he was a talented musician and had dreams of being an actor. And
Don't we
then
all?
so he graduated school in 1949. In 1950, he goes off to try to become an actor. It doesn't work out, and he ends up applying to the University, I think, of Houston to study music. Could be wrong.
Yeah. I
Um,
forgot about the actor thing though. That's interesting. Could
yeah,
you imagine if he was like a big
dude,
actor?
he wanted to be someone so bad because it doesn't stop
I
there.
feel like he wouldn't be the I don't know if I'd wanna watch a movie with him as the lead, you know what I mean?
I feel like he would be a terrible lead actor, but he could definitely play a villain. Hella good.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. He is kind of a villain. So
um, He could have been the Riddler in the new Batman movie for sure. I believe that. Um, in 1951, he starts attending another or wait, what? Oh, sorry. In 1950, he graduates high school and he applies for the university. He ends up getting it. And the next year, 1951, he goes to universities to study music, and then he ends up switching to philosophy. In 1953,
Mm.
he graduates with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. And this is another thing that I'm kind of confused about in this story,
Mhm.
and maybe just because I'm stupid.
No.
So you can get a bachelor's degree in a year,
Oh, shit.
or wait,
I don't know
no,
anything about
sorry,
college.
2 years,
I
2
was like,
years. He went to college for 2 years and ended up with a bachelor's degree, but that seems kind of crazy. Um,
it for what? For the music or
for philosophy, he gets a degree in
oh,
philosophy
I
after he
don't remember that.
switches.
I do remember the music and him,
So
like,
yeah,
yeah.
all the articles I read say that he started college in 51. He ends up switching to philosophy from music in the first year, and then he ends up graduating in 53 with a bachelor's degree. So that seems kind of crazy. But what they say happens. He then enrolls in seminary school, with like school for religious studies and stuff. He
Mhm.
wants to become a minister, and at this time he meets and marries his wife, Anne Pierce.
Yes.
And then in the next year, in 54, he leaves seminary school to once again pursue a career in music. He becomes the music director of a Presbyterian church in North Carolina. And then later that year, he's drafted into the Army Signal Corps. Which, do you know what that is? Because I didn't know what that was.
Please tell me.
So the Army Signal Corps is like basically the IT of Army. They're the
Oh,
guys
really?
that operate like the satellite communications and all that stuff. So you got your
Okay.
soldiers doing soldier things, and you got the Signal Corps doing all the stuff behind the scenes, so you can communicate with the important people.
See, I did know that he was drafted, but that fits him, I feel like,
Right? Yeah.
compared to what I
That's
thought
because I was like,
he
he
was.
got drafted. There's no way this guy would survive in the army.
Yeah, there's like no way. Yeah, but that makes sense
Yeah,
though
he
when
was,
you
I
say it
guess,
like that.
the IT side of it. Um,
Yeah.
my fucking mouth pad's sticky now. I hate my life.
Do you need to
Uh,
go wash it off?
no,
Do
it's
you
fine.
need
It's fine.
anything?
It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay,
We're
you'll suffer
fine.
through. Okay, okay, okay.
Am I out of drink though? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I can get even more on my mouse pad. All right. Shit. Where are we at? In 1956, he leaves the army and enrolls in the University of Colorado to once again study music. He's back on this music train again.
He's
Um,
fucking loving it.
and then 4 years later, he graduates the University of Colorado with a master's degree in musical theater, theatre. He moves to New York City, where he is unsuccessful at being a professional singer or finding a job.
I feel like that's a very common trend, you know?
Yeah, he tries to become an actor, doesn't work out. Tries to become a singer, doesn't work out. He got a degree in theater, I guess, but that wasn't enough. He probably sucks at singing.
I couldn't imagine. I don't know, you know.
Can you have a master's
He
degree and still not be good at it?
yeah. I know a lot of people like that.
Well, shit.
A lot of
Um,
doctors too.
so after he's unsuccessful of finding a job or a gig in New York, he ends up moving to Alabama, where he becomes a music teacher at the University of Alabama.
Yes.
4 years later, he has a bit of a mishap in Alabama where he gets
I think that's what you
fired.
could
Well, one of many mishaps he has later in
yeah,
life. In
right.
65, he gets fired from his job at the University of Alabama for having an affair with a male student.
Yep.
Um,
Although you guys gotta realize it's like college, so he was probably of
yeah,
age,
I
but
mean, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a well, it's really weird being like student teacher
no,
shenanigans.
it is. I'm not saying it's not any less. I'm just saying like it's not like we're not talking about like
Morally,
like a kid. Yeah,
not. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, it's college
you
level.
know. But
Um,
yeah,
his wife separates from him.
he did. Did he have kids too? Didn't he have like? I think he had two. I could
Yes.
be wrong, but okay.
I thought I wrote down they were bored. Maybe I didn't. They have two kids, him and his wife.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
because he has like a family and everything. Yeah.
yeah, right, right. His wife, they separate because of the affair. Um, Marshall ends up coming out to his parents as gay. They reject him. After this, he moves to Houston to work at the University of St. Thomas. Um, In Houston, he becomes like a local popular singer in the community, and he's like openly gay. Um,
Well,
what?
he's like a robin, right?
A robin? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, probably like a robin.
Yeah.
um, and then where are we at? Okay, in '68, so 2 years after he moves to Houston, him and his wife are technically still married until this point, and his wife gets a divorce from him eventually. Um, then 2 years later, Marshall gets fired from his job as a music professor in Houston. The exact same thing he got
Yeah, you'll
fired
never
for.
guess.
The exact same thing he got fired for in his last music job, where he has
I'm
a
like,
relationship with a male student. Um, I guess after this, he has some real emotional problems due to the loss of his job and the loss of his marriage and his parents rejecting him, and he has a nervous breakdown. And then before we go on with Marshall, who is the
yes,
man who
the star of
started,
the show.
we should talk a little bit about his counterpart, Bonnie.
Yes, Bonnie Nettles.
Bonnie Nettles is the second co-founder of the Heaven's Gate Church. Um,
Hmm.
Bonnie Lou Truesdale is what her name was before she got married to somebody named Nettles. Born in Houston, Texas, into a very Christian family. At 1945, Bonnie moves away from religion and starts attending nursing school. This is when she's an adult. Um,
Yeah.
Barney. In 1945 to 49, when she was in nursing school, she meets a man named Joseph Siegel Nettles, who's a successful businessman. In 1949, they get married. And then 1949 to 1972, they just have a fairly normal life. They have 4 kids between them.
Oh shit, I didn't know she had
Yeah,
4.
she has 4 kids with Joseph Nettles.
Damn.
Oh yeah, and here's a little side thing. I don't have a link to it, but I tried to search this guy to see what happened to Joseph Nettles.
Yeah.
And oh, okay, there's 2 things, 2 little tangents here. Okay, so when
Okay.
I searched Joseph Nettles, it's like an infinite amount of people named Joseph Nettles preaching. Really weird.
And okay, yeah,
I
interesting.
don't think he's a preacher. I think he's just a businessman. But it was just
But
really
there's
weird that this is like a religious story, and searching his name brings up a bunch of different Joseph Nettles who are super religious. But even besides that, literally everything I searched on YouTube for this story comes
yeah,
up with like random religious stuff, just completely random religious stuff. I'll give you more examples later on, but
that's kind of
it's
creepy.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
So in 1972, out of seemingly nowhere, Bonnie starts conducting regular seances. She's attempting to contact the dead.
Yeah. She did have a love for, I guess, the occult in a way because
Yeah.
yeah.
Apparently, this didn't start until her later in life, because people who interviewed her family said that like this is out of the blue. Um,
Like yeah, cuz she started writing for the astrology column in the
mm-hmm.
local newspaper too.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's weird that it came out of
weird
nowhere. That
slippery
it
slope.
all of a sudden, yeah.
She claims that during a seance, she was contacted by a 19th century monk named Brother Francis. Also, one of
Oh
the things
yeah.
I looked
Okay.
up, and there's a bunch of religious stuff about somebody named Brother Francis. Don't know what
I
that's
heard like
about.
a very vaguely snippet of this.
Yeah.
That you start talking to her.
And apparently this Brother Francis continues to contact her after the seance they meet. And he gives her instructions in life, apparently.
Isn't that always convenient in these types of stories when you have someone that's talking to you that no one else can see that's like a higher power? Like I feel like that is always like a
All
thing that they
roads
put
lead to
in.
PCP, dude. Bonnie's on PCP. Maybe it's the right time. I
It
guess
would
it's
make
booming.
sense. I feel like I need PCP to understand what the fuck when we get into what they're believing in. My God.
um, Bonnie also starts claiming, oh yeah, she works at the paper doing the astrology column. She starts claiming that fortune tellers tell her she's going to meet a mysterious man who will be tall with white hair and a fair complexion, which
And he was.
is true. That's a pretty good description of Marshall. Um, Bonnie starts researching into astrology, theosophy, and the occult. It puts a strain on the marriage. They end up getting a divorce. Bonnie continues to live and work in Houston as a nurse at the hospital. Okay, that's Bonnie's history. Um, right here. Okay, 1972. Marshall starts having heart trouble, and he ends up going to. Okay, hold on. Before I tell you the
Yes.
story. Okay, so this is a this is what people say happened to Marshall, but Marshall denies that this is the story of how he met Bonnie. I don't know
Okay.
what his side of the story was because I couldn't find it anywhere, but I did find that he was pretty enthusiastic about saying this was not the story.
There's different versions. I feel like
Yeah.
at least 3 or some. Yeah.
But the one I told the most was that he has heart trouble,
Yeah.
so he's going to the hospital. He meets a nurse named Bonnie Nettles. She's
Mhm.
she's uh she's very religious, but also into those obscure beliefs that I just
And
mentioned.
UFOs, guys, you gotta love UFOs,
And
or this
UFOs.
cult's
Yep.
not for you.
Um, they fix Marshall's heart, his achy breaky heart. Um, and Bonnie convinces him that he has been saved by God for a reason.
Yeah. Yes,
One
they have
year
a
later,
mission, right?
yeah, they have a mission doing PCP. 1 year later, 1973, the pair convinces themselves that they are the two witnesses described in the Book of Revelation. They were,
Oh, yeah.
there to prepare the world for the kingdom of heaven. They also
They
start going by aliases like Bo, Doe, Winnie, Tiddly. Those are all Marshall. And then Bonnie's going by Peep, T or Ty, Pooh, and Wink.
Yes,
Oh,
there's a lot of
and
fun
Doe.
nicknames. Yes, Doe. T and Doe is,
Um,
like, the one that I saw the
yeah,
most.
those are the ones. Those are the ones that go by the most.
I think especially towards, like, the end.
Yeah, right. They had a plutonic sexless partnership, which was made a requirement for the group eventually.
Yeah.
And then a year later, Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles start human individual metamorphosis, which is what they start calling their group. The first group they come up with is this uh, human individual metamorphosis. This will eventually be changed into something else and then changed into the Heaven's Gate.
Mhm.
They start traveling all over the country, giving presentations and putting out posters, promoting like crazy conspiracies, science fiction, UFOs, and information on how to join the group. Posters would say things like, two individuals say they were sent from the level above human and will return to that level in a spaceship within the next few months. Which this seems like so crazy. Like how are they getting any people to join them? But they were like slowly and steadily.
This is the thing, though, is, like, it's for this cult is for a very specific type of person. Like, if you are a
Right?
fucking
Yeah.
nerd, if you're a Trekkie and you want a sci-fi fucking Bible, this cult is for you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But that's like such a minute little group.
This is
So if
true.
you they just got the right people that were like, hell yeah, Jesus,
Right.
alien, in. You
And
know?
I'm guessing like okay, I guess knowing where it ends makes me be like, why the fuck did this happen? But then I guess at the beginning they weren't talking about killing themselves to escape the Earth.
No, like, they were talking at the beginning, they were like, "We fit our physical body, a UFO is gonna come and
Hmm.
physically grab us and take us to heaven." Like, heaven was a location you could travel to. So, yeah, it slowly started being like, physically, we can do it, but we all know, like, spoiler alert, they
It goes
physically can't
south.
do it. Yeah, it they can't be physical anymore.
In 1975, they do a presentation in Oregon, and at this point, they had changed their name from what was it? They changed their name from Human Individual Metamorphosis to they're now called Total Overcomers Anonymous. And at this presentation, they promised that a spaceship would take them and their followers to heaven, and to join what would have to renounce sex, drugs, all of their possessions, and connections to family and friends. And then, only then, would you be eligible to be elevated to a new world and be known as a being called the Tela, I think. You know how it's
Yeah,
pronounced? Is it Tela or Tela or something?
Tella is what I've
Okay,
heard
Tela.
it. Yeah.
They had 150 people attend the presentation in Oregon, with many locals thinking it was a joke, but they did end up with a couple dozen joining the Total Overcomers Anonymous group. And this presentation is also where they first get their like this is like national attention they get at this presentation.
Yeah, they get honestly, throughout the years, they do get a lot of attention,
Yeah,
I feel like.
it's like their first
Especially
big break.
yeah.
After this point, from like 1975 to like 84, which is crazy that they've a decade later, they're still doing this shit.
Yeah.
They continue to travel around, collecting followers and distributing this information. They changed the name to Heaven's Gate. They also asked for no socializing between members as a new rule. Um, a few members, including Marshall, the founder, go to the extreme limit and castrate themselves.
Yeah, so the whole castration thing that happened, he kind of made it a point to be like, you don't have to do this, but if because I think they
Yeah.
wanted to make themselves look like aliens, or
Yeah.
was that the whole thing? So like
They
7 people did do it, and it was an operation too.
I don't think they were trying to make themselves look like aliens, but they wanted to make them all look the exact same.
Yeah. Yes. Um
Um, all conformity, no like personal stuff or like uniquenesses.
Well, this is the thing too, is when they are slowly making their way to heaven, or getting picked up by UF Jesus or whatever they're
You have
doing,
Jesus.
UF space Jesus. Um, they have to slowly cut off like the human part of themselves, like not literally,
Hmm.
but like family, they cut family off a little bit, friends, they cut friends off, anything that had any type of emotion to it. I feel like for them, in order to commit suicide and be, I guess, okay with it, if that makes sense, it was to completely get rid of every distraction that they could, to not so they could complete their mission. um
I'm really
yeah, 'cause-
surprised that this wasn't made a requirement because everything else that seems extreme was made a requirement. But I mean, I'm glad for
yeah,
those guys that ended up not following through that still have their members and
yeah.
parts and pieces or whatever. I guess they don't cut the member off, but that'd be extreme.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
Followers were expected to dress alike and made to conform to very specific rules over everyday life, like the way you cook pancakes, how big they could be. These are all examples given by former followers of the Heaven's Gate. Like cooking pancakes, they had to use the exact same mixture, the exact same amount. They had to all be the same size. You had to
Yeah.
cook one side like for a certain amount of time, and you had to use like a certain amount of heat, and you were only allowed to eat so much. And even down to like how much syrup you were allowed to use, everyone had to use the exact same amount.
It was
Um,
very, like, all or nothing, like, either you guys don't have to do this, but if you wanna go to the next
right,
level,
yeah.
like, this is what's required.
And
Uh,
despite these extreme like bullshit rules, they ended up getting up to 200 followers in the decade, in this decade, 75 to 84. 200 followers. That is crazy.
that is insane. It is insane that, like, just in general, 39 people died, like, that's insane to me,
Yeah.
but
Um, a lot of the followers say that they were interested in this group because it felt like a modernization of the Christian religion. And for reference,
yeah.
when they told the story about how Mary got pregnant, one who had Jesus, she was
Mhm.
actually impregnated after she was abducted by the Tela, and they put a baby inside of her.
Oh, I didn't know that, but,
That's one of their beliefs.
I mean, I did know they, like, kinda made the Bible more
So,
sci-fi-y.
Space Jesus, you weren't too too off there.
I definitely kn they think he is, like, yeah,
Yeah.
so.
One of the huge lessons that they teach in this cult was that the Earth goes through a huge process called recycling.
Yes.
Basically, the whole planet gets destroyed and is wiped clean, and then new spirits inhabit the now empty Earth. And if you don't make it to heaven by this point, you are doomed to hell for all eternity.
Yeah, that's why they need to, like, go to their next
Mm-hmm.
location. They need to get there because everyone's dying, so either we kill ourselves or we're gonna die eventually, is
Yep.
kind of how it was point.
Marshall and Bonnie told the followers that they would be receiving a signal from the Tela before this process would begin for people to make it out onto the spaceship, to heaven.
Mhm.
Um, and then, so this is like 75 to 84. And 85, they have a wrench thrown in the engine because Bonnie dies of cancer.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Marshall has like extreme emotional difficulty processing the death of his partner. And now there's like a bunch of holes punched in his belief because some of the followers are questioning, like, how come she died now when she's not going to be here with us when we take the spaceship to heaven? And why didn't like she know she was going to die? Or why didn't the Tayla tell her? Or why didn't they come pick her up? all these
Yeah.
questions. Um, so Marshall kind of starts heavily believing and pushing one tenet to the cults, and that the belief that the human bodies are just vessels or vehicles, and they're only there to carry you on your journey on this physical earth. And eventually, you will have to abandon your vehicle to reach the next level of Tela. Um, he basically convinces his followers that Bonnie was finally able to leave her vessel behind and join them, and he holds it over their head that they will be reunited with Bonnie once they get to heaven as well.
Yeah. Didn't he said something about how like their physical bodies could not survive the transition.
Yeah,
And
right.
like yeah. So and that's the reason why she died. Is that what do you know if that's what he
Yeah,
told them? I
uh,
couldn't really it's kind of fuzzy. I was trying so hard to read between the lines, but it's like
yeah.
not clear.
I saw it in a couple places, but I didn't see it all over, so I didn't write it down. But I did see a bunch of people saying that he said that she went ahead of them to make sure that the path was like correct, and she was gonna send them a signal as well to let them know that
Okay.
it's time to
And then
leave.
yes, okay. I
Um,
gotcha.
and then so after this, Marshall starts spewing this stupid shit that suicide isn't when you kill yourself. Suicide is not making it onto the spaceship to heaven, because then you're doomed for eternity.
Yeah.
And they start trying to change the definition of suicide and all this with the followers. In the 90s, the early 90s, they need money, and so they start focusing on this new fandangled thing called the internet, making web pages, and they
Yeah.
they make enough money to rent a mansion in San Diego.
Well, also too, he had 2 followers that actually came into money. It
I
was
didn't know this.
yeah, I lost my notes here, but they both came into like a lump sum of money. I don't know if it was, someone died and had them in their will,
Right.
but oh, they got a lot of chunk of money from that specific situation as well.
I see. I see. But yeah, so they use this money and they buy a mansion in San Diego.
The
And if
famous one
you want to
that
see an example of what their websites look like,
I would
the
love
Heaven's
to.
Gate website is still up.
It's still run by 2 of the members.
Yeah, switch it over here.
Yeah, and also this whole time
Totally
too,
90s.
like the mindset that you have to get into is they were like living this life, you know?
Yeah,
They were changing names. They acted like everyone was on a spaceship for practice. They talked in sci-fi language, like the bedroom was called the resting chambers and the tents being crafts. And, so and even the way they set up their tents, it kind of looked like a galaxy, I think is what they said. Like they made it all like a space like, they were really into it. They were living
really,
this life.
really into
Like,
it.
it was, like, not they truly believed this.
Uh, Red alert! um,
Yeah.
there's the website, totally 90s, still exactly how it looked when it came out.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, where are we at here? My place again. So then in 1995, these 2 astronomers discover a comet called Hale. Well, so when they name comets, it's usually the last name of the person who discovered it. And since this
Mhm.
comet was discovered by 2 people, and I can't remember their names, but their last names were Hale and Bop, they discovered the
Mhm.
comet Hale Bop. Um,
Yes.
and it starts, news of it goes around the world. Everyone's excited. Do you know who Art Bell is, Paige?
I do not.
So there's this guy named Art Bell who's like this, like early mid 90s. He has a talk show called Coast to Coast AM, and he basically just does like conspiracy theories and wacky stories and all this shit.
Okay.
Um, and in one of his broadcasts, Marshall hears about the conspiracy that there's an alien spaceship that's traveling behind the comet Hale-Bopp. And he thinks that this is his sign, and this is the way to evacuate Earth, because the ship behind Hale-Bopp is the ship piloted by the Tayla coming to take them to heaven.
Yeah, didn't he think too it was almost sent by Bonnie?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
maybe that's what he told them.
Now, fortunately, The cult had dwindled in numbers by this time, down from the 200 that they had at one point in time, down to only 43 members.
Yeah.
Um,
And also this cult was not quiet about, like, their plans for suicide. They put ads out. They didn't necessarily say
oh
like,
yeah,
"Hey guys, we're about to take ourselves out," but they were hoping that weren't gonna have to kill themselves. They were honestly hoping that the government or something was gonna happen and someone was gonna take them out instead of, them doing it themselves, which is
um,
kinda crazy.
yeah. They decided that the huge beautiful mansion in San Diego was a perfect place to leave their bodies behind. And I have a recruitment tape for you.
Yes.
I think it's one that you sent me that I already had.
We're going to talk to you about
This is
the
Marshall
most
Applewhite, by the
urgent
way.
thing that is on
Crazy
our
looking
mind,
motherfucker.
and
I
what
gotta
we
say too, like,
suspect
the
is the
beginning videos,
most
he
urgent
looks okay, but the last video, you can see,
Yeah,
like, a decline. I'm like,
yeah.
"Damn, dude."
thing on the minds of those who will connect with us.
He sounds crazy.
We'll title this tape
Absolutely.
Planet Earth About to be Recycled. Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us.
I don't like the white
Planet
eyes.
I
That's like
Earth
a
know.
psychopath.
about
Yeah.
to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us. Now, you keep saying us. Who do you think you are? Well,
That's so weird.
I, in all
I
honesty,
just am surprised that people
must
watch this and they were like,
acknowledge
"Fuck yeah.
my
This is what I want to do.
father.
I'm in."
My father is not a human father. My father is a member of the evolutionary level above human, the kingdom of God,
Oh
the
shit.
kingdom of heaven. My father gave me, long before this
Subliminal
civilization, gave me birth
Subliminal
into
messages.
that kingdom level above human, that kingdom of heaven, that kingdom of God. Now you can say, well, I can't believe that. Well, it's up to you whether you believe that or not. That's not important to me, even though I wish that you could believe it for
It's not
your
important
sake.
what you believe.
For
This is
those
what
Yeah,
I'm
who
telling
do
you. This
this
believe
is
is
it,
like
just the truth.
stand
this is
the
happening.
possibility of a future beyond this recycling
He's
time.
definitely like, "You're either with me or fucking against me, okay?
It was the real
Don't waste
Walter
my
White.
time."
Um, but yeah, so he's trying to convince people to join their group to get on the spaceship. In 1997, the comet Hale-Bopp is going to be visible starting in May, and it's visible for the next 18 months.
I don't know if you're gonna say this too, but at one point, I feel like right before, they did what they did, he told them that he actually had alien Jesus inside of him.
Oh, I did not know that.
So, like, instead of, we're gonna go meet him essentially, because originally I think it
He's the
was
Virgin
like,
Marshal that you're saying right now?
yeah, like, I think that he was like, oh, Bonnie can hear, alien Jesus or gets messages, and then it goes to Applewhite, and Applewhite presents them. But then when Bonnie died, it became like, all right, well, I want you to know that Jesus is inside of me, and I'm actually part alien Jesus. And I think that was like the next transition into pushing the group a little further.
Fucking Virgin Marshal. It's crazy. It's like the story gets crazier and crazier, and people are
I know,
so
it's
on board.
like,
That's insane.
what the fuck? Yes.
Um, so they decide that since the comet will be here from May to 18 months later, um, the end of March is the perfect time to get on board this alien ship.
I think
And
that's when the comments were closest to them. I think they
is that what
mapped
it
it out.
is?
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out, but I couldn't figure out why they chose
It's a fucking mess,
March,
dude.
because a lot of the like pictures of the comet, which I will show you in a bit, were
Yeah.
taken either like early May or later in the year. So I don't know.
It's hard to talk about it because it's like, in order to fully understand this religion, you almost have
Yeah.
to learn another language.
Also, this is like a random tangent, but doing this stuff, like the newer stories we've done, are so much easier to find facts on. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine in like 100 years from now how precise the information will be on stuff that's happening today, because all the
Yeah.
information, everything that's like documented and written down and shit,
You'll know like what they did every single second.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so they decide that they're going to free themselves of their human vehicles, aka
Yes.
sleep forever.
And
And
they also
then-
had to get their fancy new outfits and those fresh
Yep, yep.
Nikes.
Your spirit will then travel up to the ship, and you'll be taken to heaven with the Taylor, and you'll become a Taylor.
Yep.
And so before they did their whole plan, they did some interviews with the group members about, like, there's basically an exit statement. That's actually what it's called.
You said it was a what statement? Exit?
It's a student exit statements.
Oh yeah,
This is from the
I
Heaven's
heard
Gate database. This has like a bunch of Heaven Gates videos on here.
because some people are really happy to go to heaven, and some seem a little nervous, and some are just wanting to commit
Yeah.
suicide.
So
Like,
obviously this is like
there's-
2 hours long. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but we're gonna play
no,
some
but there's so
snippets.
many different types of people here too.
Yeah, a little bit.
King of Heaven.
And you'll notice they all kind of like
On how best to cut
have the
off
same
ties,
thing going on.
Addictions
Yeah.
to self and this world. And this is my prepared statement. It's very simple. And I don't know. I think my constant asking long before I entered the class was the key.
Be good enough to the next level. Just do the very best.
Even the
you
old
can.
people involved
That's
with
all they
this.
expect you to
Well, a
do.
lot of these people
And
started
you-
in like
you
their
do
Oh, that's a
mid
good point. That's a good
20s,
point.
and
Yeah.
like then they were by
But
40. I think the
you
average age
were
was like
very,
47.
I keep forgetting it started like way back in
Generally
the
has
like
been very, very
70s.
It's around forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
helping to put
Didn't leave a note or anything because I knew who my real family was, but I just had a feeling I needed to go back out into the world per se to see what it was like and to see what
This woman looks like she's trying to hold a
might be
fart in.
there.
You know,
But
you
I
do,
knew in
maybe.
my heart I'd always
You
reconnect
don't
and
know.
always be back.
She looks like she's
They did
straining.
have, like-
And
Oh,
I
there it
didn't
goes.
know
You see
how I
that?
was gonna-
Wait, she's let it out.
I always reconnect and
Here
always
comes.
be back.
There it
And
goes.
I didn't know how it was
Same.
going to
No.
transpire, but it just seems like I had instructions to leave.
I'm a member of
Oh my gosh.
heaven. And T and O are definitely
T and O.
between
That's
They
the
almost have,
leaders they're
like-
talking about.
have shown
Yeah.
through
They
their
almost look like they have
example
bad like Will haircuts from
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
that they are not
Are they all wearing wigs?
The name of the movie was Beyond Human: Return of the Next Level. Sorry, not working. Is that okay? Recently, the script received serious attention for
Oh my
conversion into a
gosh, I'm
TV
so sorry. My
series
cat is
by a
being so
major.
annoying.
They're fine. I can
Remember's
hear it.
always been there to lend me a helping hand and pick me up, brush me off, and
I just can't
They
imagine.
were simply talking to the
It's like
person I was with,
macking
but I
me.
was just observing and listening.
You that's like the second
I
time.
know.
You need to watch that movie.
Campground, sitting around the fire.
Both were accurate though.
Well, these people were crazy. They were mesmerized. They were whatever.
I can't imagine all these people are just down with this.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of them
after the
though
number of
seem a
years
little
Now,
hesitant.
This
but
guy
some of
seems
them
like he's
just
not all there.
yeah.
The fact that they stuck through it all.
That's
It's
some
not-
people
it's
I
so
think
hard,
really
you
wanted
have
an
to be
excuse to
totally on
freaking
top
take
of things
themselves
to
out.
even
I know
be
that
in
sounds
the
terrible, but it's true. It kind of gives them that permission, you know?
I feel right and led to do.
Especially with the guarantee that you'll be taken to
following my old memory
heaven
and
or whatever you
where he
think heaven
goes
is.
and-
Yeah.
For so many years before.
Anyway, yeah, they do
we
2
eventually-
hours of exit statements if anyone wants to watch that. It's pretty fucking weird.
Mind numbing. Yeah.
I think I might have one more video actually. Yeah, okay. So they did the exit statements, and then Marshall did one as well. And he looks
Well, okay, so
hella
he
weird.
pulls this chair up too for Bonnie, I think is
That's
the
what that
thing,
is for?
too. Yes.
No,
So
that was empty chair there.
yeah, that's why there's one because she's kind of like sitting next to. I don't know if he says that, but it's like, what is happening? Like that's
Way too
such
much.
a, yeah.
Doe's final exit.
March 19, 1997.
Wait, what?
This is March 19.
March 19th. So it's like a
1997.
week from then they started doing it.
And
And he looks not good, honestly.
Doe
His eyes
Some call
aren't
it
so wide, I
our
guess,
partnership
but
Tea and Dough. That's not my name, but that's how I'm referred to on planet Earth.
Planet
at
Earth.
This time. I've been talking to my students that are sitting in front of me about talking
What
to
a
you.
strange background choice.
And let me say that our mission
yeah, I hate
here
it.
I wanted to
come
point
to a
out,
close in
get
the
this
next few
motherfucker a
days.
glass of water.
We came from
You listen.
Yes.
distant space.
He's gonna do it like 5
And
more times.
We're about to return. And I'd say that when we say we came from distant space, that we're talking about what your religious literature would call the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God.
And it's like they think they got
at
one
the
up
end
on
of
everyone
this
because they're like, we
Yeah.
know the
For
secret.
real.
We know what to
millennium.
do.
And truth in it, and their bodies, the experience of now
It's just creepy, dude.
out of your human
It is
body so
creepy.
that you close that return to the
Okay, well, he got older in the video, I think. Or is this somebody else?
The background does not look good.
That's a way younger guy than this guy.
Oh my god,
What
what
happened?
happened? Did they have like a stunt double?
The
They're just like, you know
glamour
what?
is rolling off of him, dude. The
The
spell
fucking
is wearing
foundation
off.
is coming off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It looks like a ball
no
sack.
longer
That looks like the
occupying a
fucking Crypt Keeper.
human-
I'm
It
so
looks like your cat.
vehicle, then
You're not wrong.
sometimes when I ask
Oh
T
my god,
questions,
is
I
my
may
cat
not
like
get
a
an immediate
reincarnation
answer. I
of?
might get an answer
Was he born in
a
1997?
little later. I may get an answer days
Who's to
later
say?
or
I didn't
months
have him
later,
when he was a
depending
kitten.
upon the question. Or tending to the question
immortal
was
cat.
inappropriate. But I did want you to understand. It's true that the evolutionary level, when they send a representative to
And you're
help
like,
you get
after
into
reading
one
a
world
lot
and
about
out-
this cult, you think that he is evil or a psychopath, or like, what do
Yeah.
you think so? Because he definitely crossed that line.
Man, I
I
don't
feel like,
know.
because I know that they all truly believe this, but I feel like when you get somewhat people to like take their lives like that, because it's weird because it's not like a Jim Jones situation where they were shoving syringes in like people
Right,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
making them, like all these people made the choice, but he definitely obviously had a lot to do with it's just a weird,
So
like, I feel like this is
strange.
very
And
weird. Yeah.
it's not very well documented as to where these ideas came from. Like, it seems
Yeah.
like him and like it seems like he had like some kind of mental break from all the stress going on in his life, you know, when he got fired and his wife
Mhm.
divorced him, his parents reject him, and he can't get a job, and he's kind of been a failure. Not really a failure because he's got a master's degree, so that's something. But
Yeah.
like his
But he
passions are
wasn't where he
failures.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he had some kind of mental break, and then Bonnie
And then
also
Bonnie,
having a
like,
mental break, and you
yeah,
put those two
fueled
idiots in
the
a room
fire.
together, and it's like they come out with this space Jesus story.
Alien Jesus.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. TM.
He doesn't seem very convincing. I don't know how they got so many members. I mean,
He's
people are just
definitely,
crazy.
at least to me, he is not charismatic as some of
Yeah,
the other
no.
cult leaders I've seen. Like, I just don't.
He's
Maybe because
he's
I'll never
like,
join a cult, but like he definitely doesn't draw me
yeah,
in. I'm
he
not
doesn't
like I
sell the
want to hear
story.
him.
It's
No,
like he's
yeah.
telling you the synopsis of a book.
Yeah, like very, but then again, like these kids, or not these kids, but all these people in here are like fucking nerds. So
Yeah.
like they probably, like I said, you have to be a very certain type of person. I don't
And
know.
speaking of kids, thankfully it's not like Jonestown, and there wasn't any kids.
Yeah,
involved.
actually, no kids was a requirement.
Yeah.
Like, and some people left their families to follow this guy.
So this video was like the 19th. On the 22nd, the cult starts the process of transitioning into spirits to travel to the spaceship. They do it in groups so that, like, if Group A goes, Group B could clean up Group A and make sure their bodies are like taken care of, and then Group B can take their place, and then Group C takes care of them. They did it by they would eat applesauce or pudding that was laced with a huge dose of barbiturates.
Yeah, like phenobarbital,
yeah.
which is usually for seizures.
And then they drink a bunch of like vodka afterwards, and then they put a plastic bag over your head so that when you pass out, you asphyxiate.
Yeah, and then like Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next group would come in and check the bodies, make sure everyone was gone, and then they'd take the bodies and they would lay them out neatly in like their beds with like coverings over them so you couldn't see their faces and stuff.
It was like a purple blanket because
Yeah.
purple was
Yeah.
Bonnie's favorite color.
And then this process took 2 days to complete. Marshall was the 37th of them to die, and then there was 2 people that were left afterwards to ensure that he had died, and then they were to take their lives. And then other than those 37 or 39 that died, they left 4 behind to run the website and to keep spreading the word. And they were supposed to have gotten contacted by the group once they had reached heaven. Which they say they did apparently.
They also had a $5 bill and a roll of quarters in their pocket
I didn't know that.
for a bus fare because they made it was like a joke to them. They were like, what if we need bus fare to get into heaven?
Oh.
So
spaceship fare, dude. And then the 26th, later on that week, the police get an anonymous tip that their mass suicide had taken place. They come in, they find the bodies all in like their beds, their bunk beds. They're all wearing the same black track suits with Nike sneakers, which is really weird. Covered in the purple blankets.
Well, they got a good deal on those Nikes, is what they said.
Shopping at Costco or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, too, one of the members that got like I think a package that was like, "Hey, the deed is done."
Yeah. That was
Denny's the one that did the
tipster.
video. Oh, he also is the one that went there first and did the famous video that people can see of like the bunk beds. And
Oh,
then
that's where that came from? I've seen that video. I didn't know that was him filming that video.
It was one of the members that did that. Yeah.
They even had some armbands on that said Heaven's Gate Away Team.
Oh, I did not know that. Interesting, though. Yeah.
I guess it's more jokes. They were full of jokes.
They just are having a grand old time. They're like, don't worry about us, guys. We're fucking in heaven now.
We're Heaven's Gate's Away Team, dude. Chill out. Yeah, so that former member was the tipster that sent in, or that told them that this had happened. That guy actually left 2 weeks prior to this happening. I guess he was probably one of the last ones. I was like, hey, guys, let's pump the brakes here.
I did hear that one of them was basically like, kind of tricked him, like, hey, someone's got to live. I think my physical body needs to do more. Who's gonna pass on the story or the message?
Yeah, and there's interviews with people that had left the group that kind of all had that same mentality that they had more stuff to do, and I guess they seemed to be okay with letting them leave if they thought that was the case. Of course, they were doomed to hell, but
yeah, they were like,
they weren't like holding
on.
them hostage or anything. And then, friends and family mourned the loss and claimed that they had no clue what was going on.
That does suck, though. I mean, not knowing where your family member is, and then yeah.
And then now the 4 surviving members are, I don't know if there's all 4 still alive, but someone is still running the website out of the 4 that stayed behind, which is crazy. And they're still like pushing the tenants and the claims.
They're answering
and all that.
emails and
answering emails.
yeah.
They even claim that they've been contacted several times by the group on the other side in heaven.
I mean, I'm sure like a freaking light could flicker weird,
real.
and they're like,
for real.
Do you know who the oldest member of the group was that passed away?
I assume it was him.
There was a 72-year-old. I don't know if it was him. Do you know how old he was when he died?
I do not.
Yeah.
I could do math, but I won't. It's the weekend.
And then, do you know what they ate before they passed away as well?
I assume pudding and applesauce.
Well, there was pizza before then, but yeah.
Question,
I guess you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I didn't save the link, but there was an interview of people who had made it out of the cult, and I can't find it now.
Oh, like people that knew it was kind of fucked up, or okay.
People who had left the cult like in the years or so prior.
Yeah.
But I'll find it. But I found something. This could be something worth watching. Pull this little bitty up. This is a woman who left the cult.
This survivor is speaking out for the first time about her harrowing life inside the notorious Heaven's Gate cult. led by wacko Marshall Applewhite.
Wacko.
You have
Wacko.
to trust me. You have to believe me.
Jana Gibbons was a vulnerable 16-year-old when she moved into the mansion. She lived.
Whoa. That's how you know it was the 60s or 70s and that picture was taken. Look at those motherfucking pupils.
Yeah.
This bitch is 2 tabs deep.
When she moved into the mansion,
I
she
could
lived there
join a
for
call
5
after that
years.
too, you know.
Now she's talking to ABC's Diane Sawyer.
My guess is
The drugs wore off and it all made sense.
Never set
And
foot
then
out
I
the
was like,
door.
wait.
Ever, right? And there probably wasn't even any open windows. It was like a little spaceship.
This is never-before-seen home video inside the cult, where every minute was controlled,
I haven't seen this.
including when
Me
and
either.
how they slept.
We were divided into 3 shifts. 3 people shared a bed.
Showers were cut off at 6
Damn.
Jeez.
There were also rules about not talking. Jana says she went for years without speaking. Finally, she was permitted to find work as a waitress.
Luckily, we did start restaurant jobs at the very end because I hadn't spoken probably in 4 years.
That taste of freedom convinced Jana it was time to escape.
Yeah, big people there too.
To beam up. Thank you.
These
39 to
farewell
beam
videos
up.
were
That's
recorded
crazy.
by the cultists, knowing they were about to commit mass suicide. They were brainwashed into believing Earth was about to be destroyed, and they had to board an alien spaceship
Those
that
are
would
just
transport them to a higher level of
dramatization bodies,
existence.
I'm sure.
Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us.
Among the dead,
It's
the
really
brother of
sad.
Star Trek
On it-
legend
like, I mean,
Nichelle
I guess
Nichols.
I'm the happiest
that's
person
what
in
they
the
really
world.
wanted to
As for
do,
Jana
but
Gibbons,
I
Wait.
mean, were they really capable of having those thoughts, you know?
Yeah. What did he just say?
I have no idea.
Is to leave with us.
among the dead, the brother of Star Trek legend
Oh.
Nichelle Nichols.
I'm the happiest person in the world.
Oh yeah, that was one of the
Brother of Star Trek actors. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were really into Star Trek and X-Files. They liked X-Files too.
That's fucking insane. These people are fucking crazy. I have another video to show you or everybody.
Yeah,
Really,
there's
of,
also
what?
that movie too that we should watch the trailer.
Oh right.
It's called The Mysterious 2.
I'm glad I've. You know how many times I accidentally try to put a link into the YouTube search? Way too many times. This is what they saw. This is what they were beaming up to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mute the audio. But you'll get the jizz. Wait. This is not it. What is this? What the fuck am I looking at?
You tell me, John.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I'm really confused. Comment. Okay, this is the right video. What happened? What?
Did it change?
I saw this and then it was something else. So this is what they saw. Not that comment over Australia for some reason. Ooh, ah.
That's a message for sure.
It
you
is.
know?
This is shot in January, by the way. It'd be so cool to look outside and see that. I mean, I guess I technically could have because I was like 3. But
Damn for you not knowing when you're 3.
yeah,
You should have.
probably would have joined them. So
I mean,
wait,
it does
okay.
look magical.
This was taken at the beginning of March. That looks like nothing, dude.
It is I feel like it's a very dramatic reaction to something like that. He was looking for any sort of sign. He's like, that's
Yeah.
it.
For real. Maybe he was dying or something, and he was like, "I got to do it now. Or they're gonna all know," because he looked like he's
that-
dying.
That was a speculation, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a rumor that he had. I don't remember exactly what the illness is. I want to say some sort of cancer, but I feel like that's just, throwing darts at a
Yeah.
dartboard. But I mean, I think they did say that they speculate that he was sick. Which I
That's
think
the
that makes sense
comment.
too, because he looks terrible in those photos.
Yeah, he looks progressively worse
videos.
throughout the whole video. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 39 of those people tragically lost their lives trying to get to heaven, which they may or may not have. My money would be on not making it, but
Well, apparently from SNL they did make it, so
oh right, okay, so
who
yeah.
feels stupid now?
All right, and now that we're past the story, that's the story of Heaven's Gate. We got some
Yeah.
lighthearted stuff as well.
Also, I think 2 more members killed themselves afterwards too.
That makes sense because there was 4 and now there's 2. So
And well, maybe 3 because I
maybe
read
3.
1 shot themselves in the head instead of doing the phenobarbital. But
Yeah.
anyways, there's that.
Fun fact.
Yeah, a little fun fact.
By the way, could you find a worse quality video?
I tried finding this video. This is the only one they had. It's better than nothing, okay?
Following a deranged Pied Piper.
With the help of NASA scientists at 11 this evening, we were able to decipher these signals. And so now, live via satellite from the alien spacecraft is cult leader Marshall Applewhite.
Oh, yeah. Do you know when this aired?
I can look it up real quick. Peak SNL, probably.
Soon they would do this.
I feel like it was right, like almost right after, to be 100% honest. It was 3 days after the mass suicide.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I thought being in the same year might be a stretch, but 3 days after, they have fucking no chill, dude.
Yeah. Too soon, huh?
Oh my God, dude. I mean, obviously, the people that went through with it, like, are batshit crazy, and you can make jokes about that all day, but their families had to see this probably. That kind of sucks.
No, that's terrible. When you listen, when we put it in perspective of 3 days later,
Yeah,
that's
3 days
it's
later,
insane.
soon.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah, they could not do this shit nowadays. Oh my God.
All right. Well, this whole killing yourself thing has really turned out to be a home run for you. Tell me, are there any regrets? Yeah, the castration thing. I was way off on that one, Ted. It turns out it had nothing to do with anything. In fact, when we got here, everyone just looked at me like, Applewhite, you nutball. Yeah, he's on nutball. He's on.
I also read somewhere too that his surgery was botched. I don't know if it was a rumor or not. So he was actually in pain the last like 2 years he died. Before
Maybe
he
that's
died.
why I did it.
Probably didn't help. Maybe that's why he looked so rough in the video.
One thing I was curious about, but I didn't look it up, and it sounds like maybe you have a little bit more. It was an operation. Can you just get a castration if you want one? What?
So it was in Mexico.
Okay, that.
So yeah,
I've heard stories.
Right. So it was, and it was actually a procedure. I wanted to say I don't know how accurate this is, but they did at one time, the first person, they had a nurse that they knew or like some doctor they knew tried to do it, but then the person almost died, so then they actually went and got it.
There's I think he's Australian. There's a guy named the Black Alien, I think, who's like, he's like, you know, the Cat Man who has all those like body modifications done. I think he's already dead now, actually, but
yes,
he's like that kind of character, and he's a black alien, and he's had like his whole body tattooed black, and he not recently, but like in the last couple years, he had like 3 fingers removed, and he had to like go under the like black market surgeries, basically. It's
I
crazy.
believe it.
It's crazy.
That is, people do some weird shit, you
I
know.
don't know if he has
Body
both hands done now,
modification.
but he had one hand done. And he was planning on doing the other hand too.
Here wanted to say something to your viewers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
If that's all right. It's upside down. Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Like, honestly, I didn't see that video till this is like the first time I saw that video, but it is kind of crazy. Like, you can try to disconnect yourself from what happened, but it's like it's fucked up.
3 days later, dude.
Yeah, like that's insane.
No chill. Okay.
No chill at
So
all.
I
Yeah.
found a video not related to this, really. I mean, I
Thank
found
God,
it.
a
I
palate
found
cleanser.
it looking for these videos,
Oh,
and
jeez.
it's really weird. I mean, it's not really weird. It's just like kids being fucking weird as shit, I think. And I was
Love
like,
that.
how I found this, I don't know, but it was. I can't remember what the fucking title is. Oh yeah, I was looking up Brother Francis, and this came up because the title is "My Silly Brother Francis."
Oh goodness.
The quality is great. You can already tell.
Like how my video was.
I'm looking for someone to
He has bubble glasses on.
go date.
It's true.
From Trailer Park Boys.
Yep. I think that might be his brother Francis, who is silly.
I am so confused.
You and me both. This is the person she was talking to? The seance?
This is the monk.
Your kids just do the weirdest shit.
Yeah. Especially if you give them a video camera.
I mean, I remember us making weird ass fucking videos, but it was not like this.
Yeah, no. Is that they learned the alien language?
Sounds like it. Live from New York. Yeah, that's all the videos I had to show you.
Yeah, oh wait, we need to spin the wheel.
We got the
before
wheel. We got the wheel.
Yes.
It's getting there.
Honestly,
Let's
I thought this video was gonna be a lot longer, but we fucking did it.
Oh yeah. Wait, was it? Did you watch the Ohio Grassman video?
Yeah, I did. I was
I
impressed.
couldn't remember. I remember seeing
did
it,
use
but I
my
couldn't remember if you watched it.
I did. I watched it. That's hilarious. It was a long video.
We should add
though.
the Ohio Grassman to this list, dude.
We should. I will talk about the Ohio Grassman.
Looks like we're doing QAnon fun. This is like the roller coaster that doesn't fucking end.
Oh my god, I feel like my brain's gonna melt.
You thought this week was gonna be long.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm relying on you because listen. Oh man.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Paige?
I think I'm good. I'm gonna watch The Boys and relax and chill.
Find some food. I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat something else again.
I got
I
some
only
stuff to
snacked.
edit.
Yes, per usual though for you.
It's my life. Ooh ah, ooh ah. All right,
Ugh.
thanks for watching.
Yes,
we
thank you
appreciate
guys.
it. We're not
Yes.
superstitious. We're just a little stitious. We'll see you next week.
Yes, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.